Hello, I am Jamila McMallow, and I'm a mindset coach for 6 and 7 figure earning women corporate executives and established business owners. And I really wanted to hop on very quickly. My daughter is taking her nap, so we'll see how much time I have to talk with you about this topic of elevating our identity to match our new reality. And I really want to talk to you from the standpoint of first, marriage, how that can come into play when it comes to being in a relationship with a good man. And then also how this can even play out in our careers or our businesses when we start to experience a measure of success, but yet our life or our lifestyle doesn't really reflect who it is that we are actually. So for example, I work with women who are married to good men. I certainly do appreciate that my videos inspire women who maybe are in challenging relationships, with men that maybe are toxic. I understand that like I said, my content may, inspire them to start seeing things that are going on, et cetera, et cetera. But really, I don't work with women who are in toxic relationships because that is not something that I can help you navigate. I know what it was like for me, when I was in a toxic relationship, a toxic marriage. And it wasn't until I was out of that relationship that the smoke cleared enough for me to focus on myself and to do the healing that I needed to do in order to elevate who I was being, okay, and my thoughts and my feelings and my actions and my behaviors, and thus shift my identity into a woman who had happy, healthy relationships with men or with a man, with a husband, right? So that's what I did. And so those are the types of women that I work with. And so if you're in that relationship now, my heart goes out to you. However, if you end up single and you want to do the work, to work on yourself, develop the ways of thinking and being that are going to allow you to become the type of woman who has happy, healthy relationships with men, then absolutely feel free to reach out. But now, if you are a married woman and you're married to a good man, however, you're finding yourself maybe feeling bored or unfulfilled, or maybe you're not quite on the same page, as you would like to be. It could be maybe you're not on the same page when it comes to money. Maybe you're not on the same page when it comes to a number of things. Whatever the case is, you just don't feel like you're just not feeling the level or the degree of fulfillment that you would like to feel, or the level of happiness or satisfaction that you would like to feel. And whereas we often love to put the blame on the guy, sometimes it's not the guy. Sometimes he's not the one showing up with the toxicity. He's not perfect, but sometimes he's not the one showing up with the issues that actually are causing the challenges in the relationship. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? So, if you have had a history of being in toxic relationships with men, but you learned enough from that to know that if you wanted to be married, you would choose someone differently, and you did, kudos, congratulations. But the challenge is now that you're in that relationship, you're like, okay, but I'm attracted to toxicity. That's what's familiar. So this feels boring. This feels like, there's not enough going on. And I'm not saying you're aware of this on a conscious level, right? Because nobody consciously says, hey, I want a relationship with conflict and chaos and all that. Nobody does that. But what's going on a subconscious level is we live what we learn. We're attracted to what's familiar. So if you grew up in a household where there's a lot of toxicity between your parents, or you had a lot of female relatives that you saw in toxic relationships with men, and that's what's normal to you, consciously you can go, oh, I don't want that. But if that's really what's normal and familiar to you, that's what's attractive to you. And so the fact that you chose someone that does not fit that pattern, now it's like your brain is going, what are we doing? This ain't what, excuse me. And so you've got to get on board with the new reality that you've created. You have to shift your identity from a woman who is attracted to toxicity and who finds that familiar, and comfortable to becoming a woman who is attracted and drawn to peace and calm and healthy communication. Sometimes we thrust ourselves into the circumstances before we've done the work to elevate our mindset to match. Now, the good news is it's never too late to shift your mindset, it can catch up. But first, you have to recognize what's really going on. Now, not only in your marriage, but also potentially in your career or your business. Let's say, for example, all of a sudden now you're making really good money, or all of a sudden now you've obtained a certain level of education, some credentials, but you don't see yourself as this prestigious professional or as a wealthy person. And so what you do is you continue to show up as the person you believe you are, which is none of those things. And so therefore you find that, yeah, maybe you had a big thrust of income, but now you're starting to sabotage yourself, or you're sitting stagnant. Or maybe in your career you got off to a good start, but you're starting to feel some imposter syndrome setting in. You're starting to feel like, I don't belong here, I don't know, all these things setting in. And the reality is it's simply because you have stepped into a reality without elevating your identity. And like I said, you can shift it, but you got to recognize what's going on first. Okay. So, a good indication of this is, let's say you're a business owner and you're finding yourself calling in clients that want your help, but they can't afford to pay. Ask yourself, who am I talking to? In my messaging, essentially, you're talking to a form of yourself. And so, why is it that I think that that's who I am, and that that's who I'm only allowed to work with? See, so that's an indication that sometimes our reality, our identity is not matching our new reality, right? Just the same as, like I said, in marriage, now you're in this relationship with this good guy. You have this life, but you are trying to turn it into something negative and say, feeling, I'm bored, I'm dissatisfied, I need this excitement, I need this and that. When the reality is, no, you just haven't stepped into the identity of a woman who has a calm, free, chaotic free life. You're still stuck as the woman who lives in chaos with drama and arguing and yelling and abuse. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, whether it's in a relationship with a man, whether it's in your marriage, that you need to step into that identity, that new identity that matches the reality that you have created for yourself, which, by the way, I want to commend you for, because whenever we're able to create something that goes beyond what we thought was possible, that's an indication that, whoa, you've got some greatness brewing in you. You've got something going on in there that you want to keep rolling with, but you got to catch up with it. You got to stay current with it. You can't think that you're just going to continue to be able to engage in action, that you're just going to continue to be able to implement strategy. Oh, I just need a few more date nights, or we just need a vacation, or I just need to implement this new marketing funnel, whatever, and think that that's going to solve your problem. That's not the issue. You've already shown that you have the capacity to create something greater than what you believe on a deep level is possible for you. You already did it by choosing the right man. You already did it by making a lot of money in a short amount of time. You already did it by completing your education and getting these credentials. You've already done that. So what's missing is the mindset shift, the changing your identity to match the person that you are becoming, to match the reality that you created. Just stop it. That's amazing what you created. Despite your background, despite your childhood, despite all the things that you've been through and done, et cetera, et cetera. Look what you did. You chose wisely when it came to getting married, when you ain't never seen nobody do that. You started a business when you ain't never seen nobody do that. You went to school and got these degrees when you ain't never seen nobody do that. You did that. You did that. And so now it's time to we got to bring up the belief level. We got to start believing in ourselves. We got to start accepting our new reality, and we've got to become the woman who already has it. Because the truth is, you do. We do have it. Now, ideally, you want to become the woman that has it first, and then that reality will be formed. But it's okay if you've already created the reality. You absolutely can elevate and bring along your identity and your mindset. You can shift it. This is what I do with my clients all day long. Okay. So, I want to thank you for joining me for just this really quick live. Drop your comments for me below if you have a thought, and also send me a message if you would like to talk one on one, maybe about what's going on in your particular situation. Okay. And we can explore what working together might look like. First, let me see if I can help you. All right. So, thank you for watching. If you're watching the replay, please drop a comment so I know that you are here. And thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you next time. All righty.